Hi, neighbor. Welcome back to our show. My name is Liam Dunman.
And I'm Alana Jones. We're so excited for this week's episode.
This week, I had the opportunity to attend Boone Prom, and our own Lea Johnson set in on the Department of Communications Spring Forward event.
And I had the chance to go to a candlelight vigil dedicated to peace in Ukraine. Also, our host Ariela Allen sat down with the editor-in-chief of the Appalachian Newspaper. Join us as we say, Hi, neighbor.
Hi, neighbor. I'm here with
Chris from IPALS and International Business Student Association.
Hi, and so who all has spearheaded this event tonight?
So this was spearheaded by Dr. Andreas Tellez, who's somewhere in the crowd over there. He reached out to Meredith Pipes and other international chairs. So the organizations involved here are NTAP, IPALS, and International Business Student Association, and we just want to bring attention to the issue. That's the first step. So we're just taking a first step to addressing it in our community, which is very easy up here in the mountains in Appalachian State to just turn off the TV or not read the news and not get involved. But people can now see who all is here at this candlelight vigil and just think, hey, how can I help this? How do I show solidarity with the Ukrainian community here and around the world? So after this, we hope that we can advertise charities and Ukrainian businesses we can support.
Great, awesome, thank you.
And this is my personal opinion. I don't think it will end through the means of violence, but through the means of war. And that's why we organize this event to show and just our support, but also a message of peace and hope for a peaceful resolution of the conflict in Ukraine and Eastern Europe.
Hi, neighbor. Today I'm here with
Tanya Molodtsova Insa.
All right, hi, and can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, I'm a lecturer at Economics Department at the College of Business. And I'm originally from Ukraine, from Odessa. And today we are here to show our solidarity with the people of Ukraine who have been suffering through these 3 weeks of war going on in Ukraine.
Right, and for any students who couldn't make it out to this lovely vigil tonight, is there anything that you would tell them and inform them more about for Ukraine?
Okay, so for everyone who couldn't join us today, I wanted to say that I'm proud, first of all, proud to be a part of this community who came here today to support Ukraine. And I wanted just to share a few things. So Ukraine is a country in Eastern Europe, and it has been independent since 1991. Right now, Ukraine, so on February 24th, Ukraine has been attacked by Russia, and for 3 weeks it has been it has been resisting and showing courage, showing patriotism and heroic acts of courage. So Ukraine right now is fighting. People in Ukraine are fighting for their future. They are fighting to be a free European country, democratic country, and they believe. From what I know from my friends and talking to people from Ukraine, they believe they can win. And that's why when we were talking about this today here, I'm overall optimistic that this war is going to finish with stronger and more united Ukraine that will continue rebuilding with the support of our partners around the world, including the United States and European countries. So I'm optimistic about the future of Ukraine. However, right now, for people, of course, it's just a lot of pain and suffering, and many lives are lost. But it's something that they have to go through right now. They have to stay strong, and it really helps that they receive a lot of support from around the world.
Yeah, and I'm sure that we will continue to show our support with things like this, where we just have vigils and we show them that we do care and that there is support out in the world for them. Thank you so much for speaking with me.
The death and destruction that's taking place, let's remember in our hearts good people around the world who themselves are victims of injustice in both Russia and in Ukraine. That's the hard part of peacemaking. But I hope we perhaps can remember.
Hi, neighbor. Today I'm here with
Hope.
Hi, Hi, Hope. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm from Ukraine. I was adopted at the age of 9, and I wasn't really allowed to celebrate my culture. So once I got to college and everything in high school and stuff, I decided to think more about it. And now this is all happening, so it's a little rough because in the future I want to travel and visit my place of birth. So yeah, it's strange.
Yeah, I bet. For any students who couldn't make it out to this vigil tonight, was there anything that you would want to share with them or tell them so they're more aware of what's going on?
Just to be honest, look up accurate information. Don't go with biased news places because it'll probably side with one place other than another. Just keep up with what's going on in the world, and not just in Ukraine and other countries as well, because it's not just Ukraine being impacted. The Russian people are being impacted and people around as well. So yeah, just keep informed.
Awesome. Thank you for speaking with me today. Thank you so much for watching, and that concludes this package. Until next time, bye neighbor.
Coming up after this short break, Lea Johnson attends Spring Forward, a special event where alumni of the Department of Communication come back to give talks to current students. Stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Matt Huntinar. I'm with Transfer Admissions and Engagement.
Well, I have to ask, why did you guys decide to do tie-dyeing?
Oh, wow. Well, number one, it's an activity that really should be done outside. And it's a beautiful fall day. Why not be outside in front of Mountain Laurel Hall? Makes the cleanup a little easier when we're outside. It's just fun, and it allows students to be creative. And it's, a lot of students have never done it before. Many transfer students struggle with the process of coming to a new campus. They've had success at their previous college, so when they get to App State, they may be a little reluctant to form those new connections. And so the purpose of the events is to, yes, have fun, but really help them build those connections with other offices on campus, other students, have them join other clubs. Yeah, that's why it's important to me, because this week we're celebrating National Transfer Student Week. We know that what is good for students is for them to form those circles of friendship. And so they come to dye t-shirts, but they're also making new connections, making new friends, having fun, maybe taking a break from their academics.
So where can we hear more about future events?
So we post everything in Engage, and then every week, on Monday, we send out a communication, but every week it informs transfer students of the transfer events, but also the other events, like all of the homecoming events next week, all of the wonderful things put on by career development. We feel that our social media is pretty active, and we use Instagram, Facebook, of course, and then Transfer Scoop. Thank App TV, thanks for coming and covering the event. You're always welcome to come to the transfer student events. Thanks a lot.
Hi neighbor, now our correspondent Zach Masters sits down with an exclusive interview with the new Dean of the College of Fine and Applied Arts, Dr. Shannon Campbell.
I am sitting here with our lovely Dean Shannon Campbell. We are sitting here in our lovely studio in Beasley. How are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am doing very well. Thank you for sitting down with us and being able to share your experience, coming here to App and, your plans for the college and everything.
Thank you for having me.
So we had a little bit of an exchange before our emails, and I did a little bit of research about you. And so you come from Denver originally. You were the Associate Vice President of Graduate Studies and a full-time professor at the Metropolitan State University of Denver. And that's a little bit of a drive from Boone, North Carolina. So I'm just kind of curious, how did you kind of find out about us, and how did you kind of make the decision to kind of decide that App was somewhere you wanted to be?
Well, let me just start by saying I'm no stranger to North Carolina. Before I went to Denver, I was a department chair and a professor at High Point University. So I was familiar with App because when you are in that triad area, you see App flags everywhere, and I've met a lot of people who were grads. And they always talked about their time at Boone with such nostalgia and pleasure. So, to be honest, I had never visited Boone during the time that I lived in North Carolina. So, I am truly new to this region. But a lot of things made this particular job appealing for me, and there were a lot of things that I thought would be a good match for me, and I would be a good match for it. As you said, I was the Associate Vice President of Graduate Studies, and what that meant is I managed a portfolio that had a lot of breadth. So I had graduate programs in hard sciences, social sciences, humanities, and if you look at the College of Fine and Applied Arts, we have a lot of breadth. And so, but there is a commonality. There was a common thread that flowed among all of the programs at MSU Denver, and that was that they were graduate, had a certain level of rigor, and those were the things that I managed. And I see that same thread of commonality here. In the College of Fine and Applied Arts, as you know, we have 7 different departments. They range from military science to art, from sustainable development to communication. And the common thread is that in each of our programs, we deeply believe in experiential learning. So something that you're doing right now where you put the theory to practice, and you will find that in each of our 7 departments, and we lead in that area. And also we value not only thought leaders, but practice leaders. So our students learn from the very best. They have a well-rounded education from people who do the work and from people who create knowledge about the work. And so what we do is we really create the very best thinkers, doers, achievers. That's what we do in the College of Fine and Applied Arts. So I'm proud to not only lead this college, but to be colleagues with the people in the college.
Yeah, I agree completely. Really, I mean, a lot of our stuff here at WASU and App TV, we do have like the hands-on ability that students have is just, I haven't seen anything else like it in the college. It really, honestly, it allows you to fail in a certain way, and failure is honestly the best teacher, and just having that experience and having that, I guess, level of stress is so important in the growth process and the learning process.
Absolutely.
What really excites you the most about your new position as dean and just the college in general that you found so far?
Okay, if I have to say what excites me the most, it would be the absolute potential here. I think not that we haven't realized our potential, but that we can be so much more, and that I don't think people outside of App recognize what we do here and why we are so special. Like I said, it's not just the thought and practice leadership, but I really believe our college is the place where excellence and innovation converge. We see people with, our colleagues have amazing grants. They're doing things to help the community. They walk the talk when it comes to eroding the line between town and gown. We do so much in this particular college that underpins our community. And so that's what excites me the most, because I really believe in, 1, the experiential learning component, 2, that erosion between town and gown, and 3, making higher education accessible. And I believe that's something that we really walk the talk in this particular college.
Coming up after the break, our own Ariela Allen sits down with Emily Broyles, Editor-in-Chief of the Appalachian Newspaper.
Hi, my name is Melissa Weddle, and I'm Department Chair of Recreation Management and Physical Education at Appalachian State University. We offer 2 degree-granting programs, one in Recreation Management with a focus in Outdoor Experiential Education, Recreation and Park Management, and Commercial Recreation and Tourism. Our 2nd degree-granting program in Health, Physical Education, and Coaching offers teacher certification for public schools in health and physical education. you can get a minor or certificate in coaching. We are the front porch to the Beaver College of Health Science, where our focus is on quality of life, wellness, and physical activity. We're located in the beautiful mountains of Boone, North Carolina, so come join us, check out our website, or take a class.
Hi neighbor, I'm Ariela Allen, and here with me today is Emily Broyles, Editor-in-Chief of the Appalachian. Join us as we discuss identity in the workplace, inclusivity and the Appalachian as a newsroom, as well as its voice as a newspaper, as well as the difficulties with creating change. Emily, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, I'm excited.
So let's begin by discussing your role as Editor-in-Chief at the Appalachian.
Sure. So I basically oversee the entire publication. We've been the student newspaper since 1934, so it's really cool to uphold that legacy. I'm in charge of basically 150 staff members here at the Appalachian. Roughly 100 of those members are pretty active into the organization. So while I oversee them, I really oversee and work really closely with our editorial board, as well as our business office that we have at the Appalachian, which a lot of people don't realize we have that. We have, it's a woman-dominated office, which is amazing. They sell ads for us, and we couldn't do it without them. So I also work with them, and I basically have the entire kind of responsibility of overseeing the print publication that we offer, as well as our weekly newsletter. I have final say in what we kind of represent in our publication.
Wow, and I love how you have final say in everything and how your vision as an editor-in-chief is reflected in the fact you do have an all-female business office and so inclusive with the various types of editors you also have on your team. So really focusing in on the newsroom aspect for a minute, newsrooms are traditionally spaces that have been dominated by white men, and I feel like that assumption is reflected in the fact you are the first editor-in-chief who's a woman of color at a primarily white institution. Can you tell us a little bit more about that experience?
Yeah, so I didn't really realize it had a role in who I was as editor-in-chief until I actually came into the role in September. I wanted to kind of change up what we covered at the Appalachian, being a part of a marginalized community on campus. I wanted to make sure that we were diversifying our content a little bit more, not just in diversity and race, but also just diversifying in what students want to hear about. I think I brought a different perspective being a part of a marginalized community, but I think that also has kind of dabbled into our culture in the newsroom. I think a lot of people, they look at the newsroom, they look at people at computers, they think it's silent and quiet, but I think, how I identify, and also along with my personality, it's kind of bubbled up our community, which is amazing to see. And I think it's also cool to not only be, the first woman of color editor-in-chief, but it's amazing to have a fellow companion on my editorial board who also identifies as Latina, and that's Zanaya Marin Lopez. We always bounce ideas off of one another, and it's really cool to have someone that looks like you to be working with you in a predominantly white space. So and it's also great to have editors who are so receptive to my identity, who appreciate my identity, and they cheer me on, and I love them.
Kind of shift gears over to change for a little bit. As journalists, we are tasked with change. We apply pressure to help advocate for it. As editor-in-chief, how has this experience affected your tenure? What are the difficulties that have come with it specifically?
Yeah, I think I've kind of noticed this change kind of shift, at least personally, going from news reporter at the Appalachian to news editor and then to editor-in-chief. I think sometimes people don't understand why we publish stories, and again, that goes back to your point of we do apply pressure as journalists. We have to serve as a watchdog to our community, and I think people love to kind of pick apart the term of a student journalist. Some people focus on the student aspect, so not taking things as seriously from students, not really listening to them, wanting to point out many corrections and things like that, wanting to critique. And then some people focus on the journalist aspect, where they take us a little too seriously and they expect a lot of us, and there's a lot of responsibility on our backs and pressure on our backs when we also are 18 to 21. We are handling, college life, jobs on the side. A lot of staff here at the Appalachian does not get paid. So that's something to think about. And I think just going back to how we've dealt with people who have questions about applying pressure, I always go back to it's our job. It's nothing personal. It's not an attack. We want to make sure that we speak for the students. I have people ask me well, isn't the Appalachian a little biased, because you focus on students? And I say, quite frankly, yes, because we are a student publication. So we are obviously going to tend to students first and their needs, and then tend to faculty and staff and the community, because we want to serve as a forum of ideas for everybody in the Boone community and the high country.
And I think that's such an important part of good journalism, is admitting those biases and admitting to the communities whose interests you serve. And as a student population, students are first and foremost, as they should be. And I just really love that perspective on it. And I love how you can admit that that is the background of the publication, but still work to serve the community at large, which I think is so important for anybody who's in a journalism role. And Emily, thank you so much for coming on our show today. It has been an absolute pleasure to discuss your background, to discuss your experience as a woman of color, as an editor-in-chief at a predominantly white institution here in Boone, North Carolina. And I feel like your experience really testifies to the fact that you not only respect the journalism and the work you do and your team does, but you also respect and advocate for the people that it represents, which is perhaps the most important part of journalism. So to all of our viewers out there, if you are interested in becoming a member of the Appalachian, please email the address that will be linked on the screen below to do so. Emily, thank you again for coming on to the show today. And please join me as we say, bye, neighbor.
Coming up after the break, Ryan Perone and I attend Boone Prom. Don't go anywhere.
Let's go! To a place where you can grow.
A place to be heard.
And take a closer look.
A place where you can crush it.
And push yourself.
A place to find your voice. This place rocks. And rolls.
A place where you can get out.
A place you'll never forget.
So where is this place? Let me show you.
Now let's check out Boone Prom and see how it went. Hi neighbor, I'm Liam Dunman and I'm here with...
I'm Davis with Draba.
All right, why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself?
So I've been in Boone since 2012. I run Draba with a couple other people, and Draba, it's a local discovery community. So we're all about getting involved in the community, putting down your phone, finding local art, local music, local food, local beverage, whatever's going on in your community, and supporting that.
All right, awesome. And what was like the process of getting something like Draba set up?
I mean, so I've been working on Draba since 2012, so it's been like such a long, fruitful journey. But started out 2012, just an idea conceived in my head, transitioned into a notepad, just writing down notes of like what I envisioned Draba to be. That fruitioned into wireframes and sketches. We later developed a mobile app that launched in 2018. And then it's kind of transitioned today to kind of just like a local boots in the ground, grassroots community. What's going on, in Boone right now?
Awesome. And how did this Boone Prom come to be? What was the thought process behind getting something like this together?
So Boone Prom came to fruition because I've heard a lot of people that due to COVID, they didn't have a prom. And I think we wanted to kind of create an experience that involved music, dance, and also an opportunity to dress up, bring a date, and kind of do something out of the ordinary for, Boone nightlife and also the music scene.
Awesome. Yeah, I was one of those people that lost my prom due to COVID. And what are some future events that are coming up with Draba?
So future events, we have a 420 event. We have a glow dance party on the last day of class. Our big thing is April 23rd at Horn in the West, which is our new home venue. And it's called Thaw Out. It's an old event that we brought back. So some people from 1993 to 98, they threw this party called Thaw Out. It was like the last thing before the end of the semester. And we're bringing it back at its original home. We have 10 bands, bounce houses, fire spinners, local food and beverage vendors, artists for all $5. So it's going to be just like an absolute blast.
Well, awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. See y'all.
Yeah. All right, I'm here with
Finn. Anders.
All right, how excited are you guys for the Boone Prom?
Oh, I'm ecstatic. It's gonna be awesome. I'm in the same boat. It's our first time going to Ransom too, so it's nice to actually experience it.
Oh, great bar. And how does it feel to be going to prom while you're in college?
Well, I never actually expected it. I didn't think they had proms up here, but
we're going to figure that out, so yeah.
It's a nice chance for me to actually go to a second prom. I missed my senior year one, so it works for me.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah,
I'm here with?
I'm Wesley Sheffield. I'm the general manager of Ransom Pub in downtown Boone.
All right, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I'm 23 years old. I'm our GM here at Ransom. I'm currently an App student, so I'm finishing up my degree at App. I was an ambassador of the school, and I love Boone. I love App. I love hosting events. I love being a part of the energy in downtown Boone. So really excited for this event, for this opportunity to partner with Draba, and just be a part of the community here in Boone.
Awesome. How is it being such a big partner with Draba and also becoming one of the go-to bars in Boone over the last few years?
Yeah, so partnering with Draba is really easy because Davis brings a lot of energy. Draba brings a ton of energy to shows. And for me, it's about the art. It's about the community that comes here, the creativity of it all. I've loved to see Ransom and myself become a part of this. Boone has so many creative people. And Draba is able to bring them to events in a really fresh and cool way. So, it's cool to be a part of it. Ransom, when Davis, we've done lots of events together. When he pitched prom, I was hesitant at first, and then I thought about, there's a lot of people that haven't had prom because of COVID. So it's super awesome to be a part of what Draba's doing, to be a part of what people in Boone are doing because, what Draba does is kind of just put other people first to promote what other people are doing. And we'd love to help with that as well as much as possible. So
awesome. So on nights like tonight, obviously you see the bar and get absolutely packed. How do you coach your staff through something on a night like this?
Yeah, so it's super hectic. Just being a part of this space. I mean, this space is pretty big. The big thing is our Oasis training. So the biggest part of coaching a bar staff through something like this is to have them regularly, and we do it quarterly, train with Oasis to be trained on awareness of just what's happening. Alcohol makes things tricky. So being aware of kind of the things to watch out for, all that. And then to also, let them know, like, there's certain things that, like, if you come to the end of your comfort level, even dealing with something, go to the next person, get more people involved, like, assess the situation. We want to make Ransom as safe and inclusive as possible, and that involves lots of different factors. And the big thing is, and this is why I'm so impressed with our staff here at Ransom, is our staff is so able to see what others need, to work with each other, and to work together to create a really cool atmosphere here.
Awesome. And how much effort goes into setting up events such as the Boone Prom?
So a good amount of effort. We set up the stage last night we had a music event last night. But setting up for an event takes some time. It's kind of fun to see the process work. The big thing with events is when when you're doing something like this, you have to start early. Like Davis was here setting up at 7 a.m. this morning. I was not. I was in bed. But you have, I got here at 5 p.m. We actually had to close for a couple of hours to get decorations ready, to get bouncers prepped, to get the bar staff, to get everything, The big thing is just like taking a deep breath, looking at all the pieces and kind of figuring out how to put the puzzle together. So.
And are there any events coming up at Ransom you'd like to tell us about?
Yeah, so we do events every week that are pretty routine. We do karaoke every single Thursday. We do trivia every Monday. We do bands every Friday night, and then every Saturday is kind of different. So some of the upcoming events that are going to be really cool. We have a tiki party on April 9th that's going to be super awesome, and we're following that with some really great bands on that. That's a Saturday, I believe. On April 20th, we're doing an event here just to celebrate that day and all the different things that go into that. And then we have brunch that we do weekly. So there's always something. If you want to know more about what Ransom's doing, go to Ransom Boone on Instagram. So just, Ransom and then Boone. That's where we post all of our events. And then you can also just come in. Our staff is aware of kind of what's going on, and you can ask them as well. We hope to see you soon at Ransom.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for joining us, and be sure to follow us on our Instagram page at WatchAppTV for updates.
Also, be sure to follow and subscribe to our Facebook and YouTube channel at AppTV for more student-made content. Until then, bye neighbor.